What's up, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, and today we are breaking down the raw numbers, and I'm so excited to share this stuff with you about Ninja's impact and move to Mixer. But it goes beyond that. It's beyond the story of one individual. It's about the streaming wars and content creation. If nothing else, if you get nothing else from this video, let me tell you right now, if you've ever thought about getting started in content creation, please do so. The numbers I'm about to share with you are unfreaking believable. It is mind-blowing, and it should get you excited, and it should hopefully motivate you if you want to jump in. Content creation for me isn't about the money. It's about really kind of getting out there and building a community around like-minded people around gaming. And whether or not you like a specific streamer or content creator, there is these communities that form, and I think that's the true passion around gaming and the true strength of the content. But this is the other side of the coin. There's a business aspect that we cannot ignore, nor are companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google ignoring it either. And these numbers show, especially with their really aggressive ideas of what they're going to bring in this year alone in terms of ad revenue and just additional revenue through subs, bits, all the different additional revenue that these content and these games generate after the fact. It really feels surreal, and I think this is still just the tip of the iceberg. But who knows? Bubbles have popped before, and maybe we're in a bubble. I'd love to know your thoughts, any and all, in the comments below. I really love having these conversations around gaming, and if you do too, and if you haven't subscribed, and if you feel like I've earned your subscription after watching this video, I hope you hit that subscribe button and join the Soul Nation. But I'm assuming right now that you came here for the raw data, and I'm going to share that with you now, and then later I'm going to share with you the rest of my thoughts. So hopefully you stick around and let's have that conversation. But Twitch's growth has slowed actually in 2019. And when they say slowed, it's obviously paired with growth. Twitch continues to grow year over year. The numbers show they increased by 12% and 16.1% year over year respectively. That is accounting for a 12% increase in watch hours and a 16.1% increase in streamed hours. So there is more content creation and more growth in viewership overall. However, that growth is starting to slow, and with the acquisition of Ninja, Shroud, King Goliathon, and others, you're seeing a move more to Mixer. Now, Mixer does not even pale in comparison to these numbers. However, Mixer did see a 128% increase of their platform in terms of content creation and viewership. Now, you're wondering what they bought when they bought Ninja and they bought the others. Well, that was it. They're buying views, they're buying mind share, and they still have a long way to go. Because when you look at it, they went from 35.2 million hours watched to 80.3. Those numbers seem large, but they really aren't when it compares to YouTube gaming and Twitch. And that's the real kind of story here. Despite all the pressure and all the idea of Twitch being a platform, YouTube is still chugging along there, performing really well. And we're going to break down the amount of money these companies brought in 2019 just in a minute, as well as the games that people are watching. And obviously things are looking good and things are starting to slide on certain games as well. Now, Streamlabs and Newzoo, who are the ones who compiled these reports, really show that Twitch's growth is slowing. And like we said, with hours watched and streamed, the number of unique channels, average concurrent viewership, they all have decreased from first quarter to fourth quarter. And it was anticipated, but ended up ultimately being disappointed. The fourth quarter results for Twitch have been disappointing, seeing the overall growth, just overall, that 12% and that 16.1% that we said earlier. So who's the real winner out of 2019? You might seem like Mixer or it might seem like Twitch, but honestly, YouTube gaming is the only platform to actually see growth, especially in its final quarter of the year, with hours watched increasing by 34.5%. to 909 million hours. So YouTube 909 million to Mixer's 80.3. You wonder why Microsoft is opening up the checkbook to get these big streamers. I don't think they have another option. They have to get more mind share. Otherwise, they're going to be missing out on an estimated $4 billion industry in 2020. Where do we get the $4 billion from? Well, that's a fun number to calculate. Twitch is expecting that in ad revenue and in subscription fees and all that, they want to generate $1 billion in 2020. Now, overall in 2019, they accounted for total revenue generated from gaming content at 23%. So assuming maybe they could get 25% in 2020, if they're estimating $1 billion, holy crap, that's $4 billion for the industry. Now, this is all estimates because they did estimate that they were going to get 500 to 600 million in 2019 in ad revenue. However, they did not hit the mark and only brought in $300 million. They did make up a difference from all the subscriptions and more, but holy crap, guys, that's huge. Even if we're half right, even if the industry is only valued at $2 billion, how insane is that in the year 2020? That this is a conversation that people are having. I literally remember being a kid and my parents looking and showing me a cartoon about these parents who dreamed of their kid who could save the princess in Super Mario as a career. And here we are years later. And that is, I mean, I don't know how many people are getting paid to literally rescue a princess out of a castle, but the joke still lands and it still holds merit today. Now, YouTube being even still smaller than Twitch in terms of the video game revenue, accounted for still 22% of revenue generated overall. So Twitch and YouTube are really kind of hammering it out, and that makes me, especially someone who streams on YouTube occasionally over at Work to Game, wish that YouTube would just step up with like 6 or 7 more features. Like, just go play Twitch for a couple of weeks and then bring those features over. I know it's not that easy. I know it's not copy paste, but really what you need to understand among all of this, beyond the individuals, beyond the ninjas, beyond the shrouds, beyond any face that's on the platform, what's really being fought here is not just mindshare, but the backbone, the technological backbone that these platforms can hold on to. Imagine if YouTube lands it, or Twitch lands it, or Mixer. All three big technological companies all fighting a bigger battle beyond this. This is just one battle in the overall war, but streaming wars are still an integral part into all of it, and we're all being a part of the game. We're all playing this game, and we might not be aware of it. So numbers aside, 2020 is going to be really interesting because despite the frustration that people might have with Google Stadia, and Stadia is a key player in Google's vision for this, you have the overall battle for the cloud. Anytime this is brought up, obviously the conversation is going to shift to the network infrastructure, and hopefully that's where it needs to be. That's where the pressure needs to be. But the real world applications beyond gaming are actually what are at stake here. With cloud processing, cloud computing, and more, can see the next technological revolution. And I guarantee you, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft all want to be at the forefront of that. And that's being fought by these streamers and by us as content creators. And I don't even know if people are aware of it, but I just want to share it with you guys now. You might be like, who the hell is this guy? Well, anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Brian, and I'm here today to tell you some cold hard facts. It sucks being a prophet, but we'll see what happens here in the next 5 years. All right, so let's have a little bit of fun while we wrap up this video, and then I'm going to share up my thoughts. So obviously Twitch remains the dominant platform. The total hours watched through 2019 are standing at 9.7 billion, obviously compared to the 2.8 billion hours for YouTube gaming. Like, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's just insanity that these are the numbers we're talking about. Obviously with a 357 million Mixer hours. So Mixer is the scrappy underdog in all of this, even despite their big signs this year alone. So obviously we're going to see some growth coupled with the platform's ad revenue, and that falling below expectations will be interesting to see how further these channels and these systems try to monetize to offset the whims of advertisers. Now, gaming content watch, Riot Games has literally the most popular publisher across all platforms. Viewers watched over 1.08 billion hours of League of Legends content. Now, the numbers for Epic Games' Fortnite decreased markedly through the year, falling 29% from the fourth quarter to the fourth quarter. But this by no means it's dead. It just means there's more competition heating up and more styles of these games altogether. So as we go into 2020, you're going to start to see Stadia really step up and compete. Stadia wasn't about a 2019 launch. It's going to be about a 2020 holiday launch. That's where things are going to get interesting. That's where things are going to be pretty insane. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, because this should get you excited. Like I said at the start, if you've ever thought about getting into content creation, do so, because the industry is still ripe. This is still a new frontier. And the thing about it is that you have 3 giant tech companies more than willing to invest a ton of money into this. Not just into you, maybe as a creator, but into the core technology that makes all of this possible. So, if you don't feel like getting into it, at least if nothing else, that you're enjoying the content that's being created. Hopefully, the next 10 years are going to be something that inspire people to make the most interesting and creative and shareable and most joyful content the world has come to know. Ultimately, we're going to all be waiting and seeing and watching to see how this all unfolds, but that's where I'm going to conclude. Like, I am beyond excited by these numbers. I'm beyond excited because I think if we have a strong Mixer, a strong YouTube, a strong Twitch, if all 3 of these companies can be competing, things are just going to get better for that of the content creator and hopefully that of the content consumer. And obviously with impacts outside of gaming, as we start to even talk about the impacts that this could have on healthcare and cloud computing and processing and AI and more. Personally, obviously, if you can't tell from my voice, I am extremely excited and I can't wait to share more with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're thinking, like I said, in the comments below. Let's have this conversation around streaming and the streaming wars and what it means. Are these numbers, can you even comprehend what these numbers mean? I'd love to know. And yeah, that's going to be it. I love you guys very much. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.